Yeah, so this tank holds 11 litres. Now 11 litres in a heavy bike, in what is already for me a heavy bike, well, I never fill up heavy. That's a tank full of gas, and I'm never that far away from a gas station, so I normally never put more than 200 in, and maybe 300. Now it will take, depending on the gas prices of course, it'll take 11 litres, which I think cost us 500 when we got it first. Of course, with the great thrill of the new bike, we filled it up with gas and it came to about 500 pesos, which, if you think about it, 500 pesos, an easy way, it's not exactly 50 to the dollar, but you work it out, it's about $10 to fill up. So I was going to show you and talk about the racing side of things. And let me see, I've taken a key out. Okay, that's the readout that you see straight away. I must admit, I've been very spoiled with the Raptor, because with the Raptor the readout on the dash is just perfect. You can, night or day, absolutely perfect. Now we're turned on it. Let me start the motor for you. Now I don't know whether you can see it, but there's a little window in the top there, and it says street. That's because on this little thing here it says info trip. If you press that, it will give you all kinds of information. Personally, I'm not a gadget type of person, so I don't even try. Even with the Raptor, it does so much more than I use in terms of gauging average mileage, what the mileage is, what all that kind of thing, how long the trip took, trip 1, trip 2. I really don't bother using that. This, let me see. Yeah, I don't use it, but it does allow you, if you were at the track, it would allow you to know exactly what had happened, what I don't know what gas mileage was, what your average speed over the first trip or first circuit was, stuff like that, which if you were at a racetrack, even as an amateur, might be of great interest to you. Not of great interest to me. All of these controls are very good. It's obviously you've got the indicators there, and then you just press it, click to get it back to normal. The headlights are always on. That would be full beam. This one is on dipped. Mirrors are very well placed, nicely done. Here you've got start, run, stop, and as I said, here you've got some other little controls that I have no idea what they're for and have no interest in knowing. Throttle, obviously brake. Now on the ABS brakes, I found them excellent. Got to remember, of course, that I'm on roads which they are actually fraught with possible accidents, so you have to drive very carefully. There's no question about it. Now with ABS brakes, this bike will stop just so quickly and safely. I rarely use the back brake, use the front brake most of the time. I don't really drive in the rain, so unless I get caught in the rain, it's not out in the rain, and it usually looks as clean as this, although I did make a point of cleaning this knowing that I was going to do a review on it. So one of the things that was of great importance to the guy our subscriber who asked me to do this review on it was, you've had the bike for a year, how has it been on putting that back, how has it been on reliability? It's just perfect. It let me down once, but that was an oversight that they should have explained to me at the dealership. That was one of the things I forgot to mention, is it has GPS. I don't know how useful GPS would be, because as I said, I'm very, very spoiled with the readout, with the speedo readout and all of that information, rev counter and all of that. I'm very spoiled with the Raptor, because the Raptor, it's like a fluorescent needle, so you always know exactly where it is. Here, in bright sunlight and with my visor down, and I have a visor on my I have a full face helmet, which I think is a must. And in that full face helmet, it's actually got a bronze finish on it, which is great in this kind of weather, and for my habit of never driving unless absolutely necessary in the dark. And the reason for that is nothing to do with the bike, it's all to do with the Philippines, because in the Philippines, backlights seem to be down by about 60% of every rider that you meet. So sometimes you might be overtaking in the dark and suddenly find that there's a tricycle or a motorcycle approaching very, very close, but could not be seen because they have no lights. So the ABS, that's why the ABS brakes were very important to me. Obviously, because it can be used at the track as well, the suspension and everything, damping, is all excellent. Now back to the GPS. GPS was a good thing if you can read it on that, and I guess if you had to stop you would, and it would be a good idea. But the trouble was, the way that they've wired it up is that it's always engaged. So you leave the bike. Now sometimes I don't ride the bike for maybe 3 days. If it's raining, as I said, I don't go out on the bike, so it's not started. And what happened was, in the first weeks that I got the bike, I had not, because of the weather, I had not ridden it for several days. When I did go to, when the weather turned and I went to start it, the battery was flat. It's not a huge deal, but out here it can be very inconvenient. So therefore I had to go down to in the truck, luckily, see I have the truck, go down in the truck and I buy a battery charger and the tools to be able to fix it. Now that proved to be a very inconvenient thing, because you have to take this off, then you have to take this off, and then there's a little fitting here that has to come off as well once these two are off, in order to get to the battery. So that was very inconvenient. Off I went to, once I had everything working, I went and I spoke to them at the dealership. Ah yes, well, you're not supposed to leave the bike for a few days without at least starting it. Didn't you know that? Why would that be? Why would the I'm asking, and apparently it is because of the GPS. So what's the answer? Well, I asked them, can you fit a switch where I can engage the GPS if I want to, and if I don't, then I don't? No, we can't do that, because it will be interfering with the integrity of the wiring and that would void the warranty. So what's the answer? We just pulled the plug out of the GPS. So I don't have GPS on it and wouldn't know where to plug it back in, and I'm not really interested, because this is it's a fun bike. It's not one, as I said, that Beth and I would tour around the country on, because it's not the right seated position. So we just left it as is, and I've never had any trouble with it since. Not of any kind. I pumped the tyres up, and mind you, I do have it serviced regularly. That's about something like every 6 weeks. Now, first off, when I first got it, I had it serviced after a month, and then a little while later I had it serviced again. But then the weather was so bad, I didn't not even dream of getting on it to go anywhere. So it went for a couple of months, and it should have been done at regular intervals. So they had to forgive me on that. Of course, it hadn't been used, and the mileage was the same as the last service. So when I went in to talk to them and make a payment, they just looked at it and knew that what I was saying was right. Other than that, it's probably been over-serviced. I don't expect to have to do anything at all. Don't know where anything is. I just look at it and think it's beautiful, and it fulfills certainly my aesthetic needs. Now, a friend of mine, when I got the Raptor, he said he's a Ford man, and agreed with our choice of getting a Ford truck. And I mentioned to him about that, and I said how much I loved the Raptor, and he said, if you don't look back, when you've parked, if you don't look back at the truck at least twice, you've not bought the right truck for you. So I have it is my dream truck. And this, for me, is my dream bike. It just is everything that I need. If I think about it and forget about the weight increase, which would be a big thing for me, as I said, then I think, oh, well, maybe I should have a 350. I mean, I started my riding career on a 650 BSA about 200 or 300 years ago. So I'm used to a bigger motor, but not with this kind of bike. What I rode in the first place and all those years ago is like a dinosaur compared to this. So this is 150. As I said, it's fuel injected. It's quite a sophisticated engine, and for me, it's a sophisticated bike. It's just beautiful, totally reliable, totally enjoyable, and really, compared to what we're used to on the Raptor, which does about 11 to the gallon, 11 miles to the gallon, getting back in my language, this is a cheap date. So, hope you enjoyed it. Hope the man who asked for this review enjoyed it and got something out of it. It's a wonderful bike. It's water cooled as well. That's another thing. Water cooled, and it's never any trouble. I just put gas in it and attend to the tires now and then. Even that doesn't seem to be terribly regular. So, thanks for looking in. Don't forget to like, comment and subscribe. Tell me what you think about the bike. Tell me what you think generally about how bikes have come along, because what we're looking at now is a 150, which at one time would have looked like that bike there. Now, that bike there belongs to Ballalut, which is my nephew-in-law, Beth's nephew. So I think that's a 150. And if you look at this as a 150, manufacturers have been very, very clever. What they've done is they put a 150 in, they've refined the engine, made it that much faster. I mean, there's much more about the engine that could be told, which as a non-technical man, I'm not going to be able to tell you. But if you go in and pick up one of the leaflets about this, you'll know what it was about. It's something to do with the valves and stuff like that. So they put that 150, a refined 150, into a bigger bike. This bike looks like a 500. To my eye, it looks like a 350 or a 500, but it's only a 150. But it's fast enough to get into a load of trouble, and hopefully fast enough to get out of a load of trouble. So go to our channel and leave your comments, or leave your comments here, and I'd love to hear from you. And I always answer comments if they're more than a word. People write comments and they just put, say, 2 or 3 words. Not much I can say about that in response, but if you make a comment that's worthy of responding to, I certainly will. So don't forget to like, then comment, subscribe, and it's important that you subscribe because it allows us the freedom to be able to keep on making videos. Thanks a lot. Bye.